Today, we journey into the heart of a chilling mystery that has left the world both baffled and mesmerized. Deep within the remote Ural Mountains of western Siberia lies the story of the Dyatlov Pass, where a group of 9 experienced Russian hikers embarked on an advanced winter expedition in February 1959. The night they vanished forever on Dead Mountain is the focus of our exploration. Our story begins with a group of intrepid adventurers, led by the indomitable Igor Dyatlov. In the dead of winter, they embarked on a journey deep into the Siberian wilderness, well-equipped and brimming with optimism. This group, comprising both men and women, consisted of seasoned individuals, each familiar with the harsh terrain they were about to tackle. Their adventure kicked off on a cold January morning as they boarded a train bound for the Ural Mountains. The sense of anticipation among the group was palpable, their spirits high, and their determination unwavering. These were no novices. They had meticulously planned every detail, ensuring they had the right equipment, clothing, and supplies to conquer the Siberian winter. As they recorded the early days of their expedition in their diary, a sense of excitement pervaded. "I wonder what awaits us on this hike. Will anything new happen?" Their final entry conveyed an optimism that would soon give way to an unimaginable turn of events. Leap ahead to the night of the incident, and the tone shifts dramatically. They had painstakingly erected their tent on the slope of Dead Mountain, a final sanctuary against the biting cold. They took a photograph, a snapshot that would be seared into history, as they prepared the site by digging a platform into the deep snow. But what came next was a perplexing enigma. What on earth compelled them to abandon this shelter so urgently? As night blanketed the land, it was as if an unseen force had suddenly gripped their very souls, propelling them out into the darkness. The ominous question persists. What could have driven them to leave behind their lifeline, their sanctuary in the snow? It was February 1st, and the group had arrived at the foot of Dead Mountain, where the Mansi, the indigenous people of the region, named it Kolachakal, or Dead Mountain. The day had seen them make steady progress up the slope, ultimately culminating in the decision to set up camp a mere few hundred meters from the peak. These are the last recorded photos from their cameras, tracing their journey's path. At first, it appeared to be an arduous but otherwise standard trek, with nothing extraordinary standing in their way, just heaps of snow, a biting cold, and a continually demanding landscape. Hours later, under the cover of the Siberian night, an incomprehensible event unfurled. They abandoned their tent and fled into the unforgiving cold, leaving behind their equipment and supplies. When a search party eventually found their tent, it was a scene of inexplicable chaos. Torn open from the inside and partially destroyed, it left investigators and the world bewildered. The tent's condition raised eerie questions. Their belongings and equipment remained painstakingly organized within, but it had been mercilessly sliced open from within with a knife. Their puzzling decision to leave their only protection behind in the chilling night continues to mystify. What led them to escape the tent in such an inexplicable rush? The chilling discovery of their frozen bodies, located 1,500 meters from the abandoned tent, sends shivers down the spine. They were barefoot, clad only in their sleeping attire, facing the ruthless elements outside. The circumstances begged an answer to a harrowing question. What had forced them to flee their shelter without even taking time to button their entrance or don their essential winter gear? The freezing temperatures would have been around -30 degrees Celsius, -22 degrees Fahrenheit, at the time of their deaths, an utterly ruthless environment. These seasoned adventurers were, it seemed, shockingly underprepared for such dire circumstances. As the search continued, an even more sinister revelation came to light. The group was tragically divided into 6 met their end due to hypothermia, while the remainder bore unexplained traumatic internal injuries that left experts perplexed. The first 2 hikers discovered under a cedar tree, attempting to fight off the insidious cold, were found in a pitiful state. They were severely underdressed, aghast to face the merciless cold without jackets, pants, gloves, hats, or boots. Instead, they wore only light shirts, underpants, and socks, a stark contrast to the sub-zero frigidity surrounding them. The autopsy reports uncovered disturbing findings. 3 of the hikers had suffered severe internal trauma. The injuries sustained by these hikers were reminiscent of the damage caused by the shockwave of an explosion. To compound the mystery, 2 of the hikers were found without their eyes, and 1 was missing her tongue. The gory details only served to deepen the mystique. It was as if they had survived a violent and inexplicable force. But what could explain these injuries? To add yet another layer of intrigue, some of the hikers' clothing was discovered to be alarmingly radioactive. Theories ranged from extraterrestrial encounters to clandestine government cover-ups. Yet, the true explanation for these radioactive anomalies remains beyond our grasp. The inclusion of radioactive materials in the hikers' clothing posed yet another head-scratcher. It was unclear why these seasoned adventurers had been exposed to such substances, igniting an ever greater fascination in the peculiar details of their journey. It wasn't until May 28, 1959, that the lead Soviet investigator, Lev Ivanov, officially closed the case. His conclusion was far from reassuring, and only left more questions in its wake. No crime was committed, and the cause of death was overwhelming force, which the hikers were not able to overcome. Ivanov's resolution, which seemed to negate any criminal involvement, raised more questions than it answered. What was this overwhelming force, and why were these experienced hikers unable to confront it? Over the years, numerous theories emerged to explain what happened that fateful night. Some speculated murder at the hands of the KGB, others a Yeti attack, and even Soviet military experiments gone wrong. The most enduring question, however, remained: what compelled them to leave their tent in such a rush? The Dyatlov Pass Incident became a magnet for conspiracy theories and speculations. The absence of a straightforward answer ignited imaginations, leading to a myriad of theories attempting to solve the central puzzle. One theory, often dismissed, is that of an avalanche, but a recent scientific paper presented an intriguing possibility. A slab avalanche, triggered by the hikers themselves, could explain their frantic escape from the tent. The impact of the avalanche could have caused their injuries. The slab avalanche theory was initially discarded due to the location of the incident. This area was not considered avalanche-prone, and the internal injuries sustained by the hikers didn't match those typical of avalanche victims. Another theory involves the powerful katabatic wind. This falling wind can create hurricane-like conditions within seconds. It could have hit the hikers, forcing them to leave their tent and struggle to survive in the bitter cold. The katabatic wind theory provides a different perspective on the incident. This natural phenomenon could explain the urgency and intensity of their escape from the tent, as well as their unpreparedness for the brutal conditions outside. Both theories provide compelling explanations for the hikers' actions, but the question of why they left the tent remains elusive. As the investigation delves deeper into the Dyatlov Pass incident, the mystery becomes even more intriguing. The behavior of the hikers after the incident is perhaps the most enigmatic part of the Dyatlov Pass mystery. With no survivors, we can only speculate about their choices, fears, and decisions in the face of the unknown. As we conclude this chapter on mystiques, we leave you with the haunting mystery of the Dyatlov Pass. Our world is replete with unsolved enigmas, and this is just one of many. We're thrilled to have you along on this voyage of curiosity and wonder. Stay with us, and together, we'll continue to uncover the secrets of our enigmatic world.